are you saying, attorney, that you are willing to face the case after this entire thing?
Well, nakabinbin po ang aking petisyon sa Korte Suprema para ideklarang labag sa saligang batas yung investigasyon na ginagawa nila at walang basihan yung paghingi ng mga dokumentong hinihingi sa akin. Paulit-ulit ko naman pong sinasabi, hindi ko po tinatakasan yan. Inaasahan ko naman po na magdedesisyon ng Korte Suprema at susunod tayo sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Ulitin ko po ha, fake news po yung sinasabi nilang pugante ako dahil ang pugante po ay tumatakas sa isang arrest warrant na inisyu ng isang hukuman. Ang arrest warrant po ng inisyu ng Kongreso ay para lamang sa isang resource person para dumalo sa isang pagpupulong at magsumiti ng mga dokumento. Wala po akong ginawang krimen na naging basihan para sa pag-issue ng warrant of arrest ng lehislatura.
And before ko po ipasa kay Gretchen, I think she has a question. My final question is how the Vice President is also reacting to updates at home regarding additional names na involved daw sa reimbursement ng funds ng OVP.
I've not had any opportunity to confer with her on this matter, pero consistent naman ang sinasabi niya, no? 125 in intelligence funds cannot be discussed publicly at nag-issue na po na ang qualified opinion ng COA. So ibig sabihin, everything was above board.
Okay. Attorney, paano po kung mag-file ng extradition request ang Pilipinas para kayo po ay mapauwi?
Well, I'm formally announcing that after our meeting today, I'm filing formally for asylum here at the Netherlands. As soon as my application of asylum is received, I do have the rights to non-refoulement. Non-refoulement under international law means, number one, non-deportation until matapos yung investigasyon if I'm entitled to asylum status. And number two, non-prosecution for illegal entry. Pero legal naman ang pagpasok ko dahil meron akong visa. No? Pero naniniwala ako na yung warrant of arrest ng Kamara de Representante ng WAD Committee ay mapapatunay ng unjust prosecution. Kasi dito sa Europa, unheard of yung isang warrant of arrest na indefinite ang lifetime, number one. Number two, walang bail. So, at number three, malinaw naman yan na ito isang investigasyon sa Pogo na nais nilang talagang i-link si dating Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte, no? At malinaw na sa tingin ko ang political motivation behind the investigation on the Pogo dahil ang sinasabi ng WAD Committee, si Presidente raw ang nag-legalize ng operation ng Pogo even if it has always been there, no? Since time pa ng Aquino government, no? So I'm
Attorney,
confident. I am
when
confident
was
that I can prove political persecution through unjust prosecution ng Huwad Committee.
when was that filed, attorney, yung application for asylum, and how long do you expect that to be acted upon?
Well, I'm filing it immediately after our meeting. Okay, so I'm heading in the afternoon. The place of filing is medyo malayo, 3 hours. So I expect to spend the night there. And there's a whole procedure that I need to comply before they give me um, proof that I am an asylum seeker and a temporary residence in the Netherlands as soon as they receive my application for asylum.
Okay. You came from
Ano pong
Dubai
korte?
po?
I'm sorry?
Sa Dutch courts po ito?
Hindi. It's just the parang counterpart of the Commission on Immigration and Deportation. Ang
You
tawag
came
nila
from Dubai,
INS.
attorney?
Ano pong
Oo.
tawag, sir? Ano pong tawag?
INS ang tawag, INS.
Well, do you
INS.
have the complete name?
O, ano ba yung complete name na yung INS
Google
na yan?
natin.
Sige, we'll just Google.
Oo, Google nyo na lang.
Pero ibig sabihin, attorney, you came from Dubai as reported in the Philippines.
Well, I don't have to answer that, please. Ang
Okay.
alam ko is I don't have a warrant of arrest, I don't have a whole departure order, and I can only confirm I'm now in the Netherlands.
Secretary,
Just a follow-up, sir, on the question of Gretchen. Ito po kasi galing sa kay Congressman Barbers. Can you just kindly respond to this? I understand that you're filing your asylum, pero ito lang, ang sinasabi niya, may standing contempt order pa rin ang Quadcom sa inyo at sa misis ninyo. Kaya dapat mag-report ang Bureau of Immigration sa Quadcom kung paano kayo nakalabas ng bansa at saan kayo dumaan. Would you care to respond to this? Tapos sabi niya, kabilang nandito, and let me quote, habang nasa ibang bansa si Roque, hindi siya pwedeng hulihin. They agree to this kasi jurisdictional ang contempt order ng Quadcom. Pero pag nasa Pilipinas si Roque, kailangan iserve sa kanya ang detention order ng Quadcom. Nilinaw ni Barbers na hindi ito panggigipit, pero isa rin kayo sa mga abogado ni Duterte sa The Hague bago raw maaresto si Duterte na contempt na ng Quadcom kayo. Kaya dahil sa pambabastos sa mga patawag ng komite at sa investigasyon nito, wala raw itong kinalaman sa pagiging ICC accredited lawyer po ninyo o pagiging abogado ni Duterte. Kaya baka raw nag-i-imagine lang kayo ng mga ganitong dahilan. Sir,
Ano una,
please.
wala naman akong binabanggit na may relasyon yung WAD committee at yung panunupil sa akin, no? But the reality is, sa mulat-mula, alam nyo naman lahat na iilang Pilipino lang ang nasa list council ng ICC. At alam nyo namang naroon ako. Pangalawa, sa mulat-mula, ako po'y spokesperson pa. Yung first time pa ako naging spokesperson, as early as nagkaroon ng international report na merong nag-iisip na magsampa ng reklamo laban kay Presidente Duterte, ako na po talaga ang exclusive advisor ni Presidente Duterte ng ICC. Unfortunately, nawala nga po ako sa gobyerno at nawala na po yung aking lead, kumbaga, in advising the President on the ICC. Everything happened when I no longer headed an interagency committee dealing with the ICC issue. No? And I think things happened after I resigned as spokes to run as senator in 2022. And all initiatives were pursued by then DOJ Secretary Maynard, later on OSG, as well as ES Medellea. So doon natapos yung aking, kumbaga, active involvement on advising the President on ICC matters dahil nangampanya na nga po ako. No? So hindi po nila mapagkakait na ngayong naririto na ang kaso ni Duterte, iniisip ko isa sa dahilan kung bakit nila ako ginigipit ay para mawalan ng legal representation ng presidente. Now, totoo po na marami namang nasa list council. Pero wala na pong ibang list council member siguro na pamilyar sa Batas Pilipinas, Batas International, at yung political context ng pagsasampa ng kaso ito. So, 5 lang pong Pilipino yan, yung dalawa, Counsel for the Victims, di ko po kakilala kung sino pa yung dalawa, but I don't think Barbers can deny na sa mulat-mula, pinalano nila talaga ang pagpapadala dito kay Presidente Duterte para mawala ang tinik sa kanilang mga buhay na magkaroon ng Marcos Forever. Kung matatandaan nyo po ha, July of 2022, nag-briefing kami sa Malacanang. Pinabayad ko si Presidente Duterte ng 20 pesos para hindi ako makapagsalita sa labas kung anong pinag-usapan. Pero alam naman po natin yan tungkol sa ICC yan. At sinabi niya, hindi makikipagtulungan. Pero as early as August, meron ng kontrang statement si Justice Secretary Remulla as relayed to me by Reuters. In fact, it was not featured prominently in the Philippine media and it was Reuters that asked me to comment. Abay, iba na po sinasabi, mere 1 month after the President declared that we will not cooperate. At alam niyo naman yung sinabi na ni Secretary Remulla, which is now consistently what he has been saying, that pag nagkaroon daw ng red notice, they have to cooperate, which is of course not true.